Hello, welcome to the video, second installment of placing cameras on a motorcycle. This is my bike. It's a GS1200 Adventure, and I have multiple places for cameras. First placement is on the left beak or the left nose. You can see this is a front view of where I have it located on the beak with a sticky mount, and here's a side view, and these are Drift HDs. Now here's a video. I've turned the sound down because it gets a lot of wind noise. But as you can see, I have it placed where I catch just the top of the tire, which is a pretty good perspective to show. This is actually run along I-81 last April. And you can watch the tire spin. It gives you a perspective of speed. I'm moving along at about the speed limit, maybe a little faster. It gives you a good perspective of the nose of what you're doing with the bike when you're shifting lanes, passing vehicles, moving along. And you find that it's a good view if you can mix and match it with the side view of what you're passing. You catch the scenery that you see for the most part, nose ahead, and the traffic. What I'm going to go into next is show a series of stills that I use. I generally set the cameras on a 3-second capture speed, and what that does for me is it extends the memory card and capture a lot more pictures in a lot greater time. And this is a series of 3-second stills moving along US 29 in Southern Virginia and catching some corners. You can see as the bike moves, it tilts over. So you catch a lot of movement of the bike in this perspective. Now we'll show on the right beak. And here's the front view again. And then we'll show the side view of how it's mounted and what you can catch with it. This is... I do not have any video from this view because it's similar to the other one, but it gives you a different perspective, especially when you're running. You catch more of the side of the road that you're on and not the opposing traffic. But it does give a good perspective of when you have to lean into a curve. And the 3-second interval tends to, you catch a lot more of the setup for the curve and the exit of the curve as well. These pictures were actually taken in West Virginia near Berkeley Springs. They're actually on a 10-second delay. Okay, next we're going to talk about mounting on the panniers. This is on the right pannier, and that's actually a gate hinge that I have mounted to try to level out the drift. And what you'll see is another series of stills, and I believe I had it at either a 5 or a 10-second interval on this video run. This is actually my commute to work, and I was able to catch kind of the scenery you pass by and got a little bit of dawn. I leave pretty early in the morning, so this is low light conditions. Then you get a good blur. I think it's a good visual effect for stills. It doesn't work so much with video, but what you get is the whole series of stills as you move along, and you can catch the different scenery and close aboard the trees. Gives you the impression of speed. And what you find with the drifts is that they work on the same plane. So you basically you can rotate them around, but they have to stay at the same. So if you locate them horizontally, you're going to have to find a way to adjust it permanently so it's level. You run it vertically, that's the vertical, and then you just rotate the lens. So you can't cant them out, or you have to find ways to cant them out. Here's placement on the left pannier. Again, same type of gate hinge, same setup. It's just pointed in a different direction. And these, again, are roads in West Virginia. This is a trip to Pittsburgh I took. Now I placed a new section inside of the windshield. They have a nice little flare in the windshield, and so it fit a drift camera. And these are catching basically the rider. And I really like this impact, this effect, because it sees when you lean into a corner. And here's the inside of the right windshield. Same location, you can catch a different perspective. One of the challenges with inside the windshield on the GS is you get a little bit of interference from the side view mirror and the brake reservoir. But it still catches most, and this was actually early morning, heading up in Virginia. Now we're going to talk about the handlebar mount. This one actually is pretty flexible. It's the one mount I've got other than my helmet that I can't run a power cable to. I used this video in the last one I did, this clip of video, and it's really showing how you catch all the dynamic nature of riding. You know, going around a corner, sharp corner here, just transitioning onto another street. You can see at least one hand moving the controls. It's hard to catch both. You would have to find a different place to mount it, and I tended to like catch one side or the other. It gives you a different perspective. You catch more of the scenery. You're not just looking straight into the rider. So here we are, moving down a road, and then I'm going to show you some alternate. After we're done with this, I'm going to show you some alternate places or alternate ways I've used my cameras. So here's a view astern. That means looking back. Of course, my big mistake is I forgot to take the tab off the bungee cord holding my cooler on. But this is on a road trip out to Lake Anna. And then here's low light use of helmet view. And one of the things putting on the helmet in low light you find is it'll snap a picture when you've moved your helmet. There's one, snapping a picture, you move your helmet, and it really blurs it up. But it's kind of an interesting effect because you don't catch as much, and this is a low light setting. And this is on I-95. So here is a video where it's a 3-second lapse time that I put at a 1/4 second in exposure. And what I liked about this string was you don't see a lot of movement of the rider, but basically moving down the highway, you see a lot of movement of the shadow. You see the changes of directions, the change of the sun. And I really like that effect. You can see as I've moved around a corner, the shadow disappears, shadow comes back. And so it's kind of a nice effect when you're trying to do a video showing a long distance roll. And that's it. So I hope you enjoyed the video and use your imagination to place cameras all over your bike.